Moving to Australia has been made very easy this year, 2023. Guys, if you want to move to Australia, especially if you are looking to migrate abroad with your family, then I'm encouraging you to watch this video to the end, because in today's video, I brought to you a coach called Marilyn, where she will be explaining a particular pathway to Australia, which is easy, which is simple and straight to the point. You know, this Australia documentation when it comes to visa type, with this particular pathway, you do not need all those plenty wahala. So let's get started. Marilyn, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this with me. Guys, Marilyn is a coach. She's an expert when it comes to relocation coach and immigration tips and the rest of it. So please pay attention to her. Could you please introduce yourself a bit for my audience?
Yeah, hi. Thank you so much, Clara, for having me. I'm really grateful. And yeah, my name is Marilyn. I'm, a talent coach and migration coach. Also, really passionate about relocation and helping people with that relocation strategy, plans, and, helping them as well in skilling, like upskilling or reskilling for that purpose too. I was awarded the Australian, Global Talent Visa, and I've been helping a lot of people as well, migrate to Australia through this Global Talent pathway. And yeah, that's why I'm here, to actually help you, to show you that it's possible. And the benefits, one key benefits and takeaway from this session would be that the Australian Global Talent Visa is a permanent residence visa.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, it is. yeah. So once you get the visa, you become a permanent resident of Australia. Yeah, so I'm a permanent resident of Australia, and that was made possible by this Global Talent Visa. And you too can be, if you explore, and can help you as well in assessing how you can be eligible, making you understand more about how to prepare yourself for this migration routes.
Yeah. So talking about this, like, what are the requirements? Is there any age limit? Is there, IELTS, English language exam, proof of fund needed for the Australia Global Talent Visa? Because this is a good one. You said they immediately become a permanent resident. You could tell that I'm grieving because I'm very excited.
Yeah, it's amazing because all the benefits. Becoming a permanent resident comes with its benefits. It's really, if you compare it to someone who is a temporary resident, so every country have their own specific benefits, but for permanent residents, both medical, both tax-wise, housing, and so many other things. Yes, so that's one of the key things. And in terms of the requirements, you don't need IELTS again here, but you would need at least functional English language. So that functional English language could be that maybe you graduated from an English-speaking university, and you can show proof or evidence of that.
Over here in the UK, like, to prove your English, but it doesn't necessarily mean you must do the IELTS itself. So you can use like your degree, you can use it to prove your English, saying, okay, your degree, your course was being taught in English language, okay?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So like in my case, that was exactly what I used, and some other persons I supported, that was exactly just a letter, maybe from their institution or something in their transcript that says this course was taught in English. Yeah. So that's functional. It's functional, which means it's the basic that you would need. So in terms of proof of fund, you also don't need proof of fund. So you don't need to show that you can support yourself for months or a year or so. So you don't need proof of fund. It's just the application cost that is involved.
Can they move with their family with this one?
Yes, you can move. So that's the good thing as well. When you're applying and you include your dependent, so dependent here, I mean your spouse or your partner and your children.
Like, is there like a limitation of number?
No, if you have 10 children, good and fine. you can yeah, you can include all of them, and as soon as they are also receiving the visa, they automatically become permanent residents as well
Wow, that's
with you.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah,
So this
so you can
Australia
include them.
Global Talent Visa, like what is it called? What's the name?
It's called that's the name, Australian Global Talents
It's
Visa.
like like
Yeah.
the other visa type, the temporary one, 482 visa. Does it have like a code?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. So it's called 858. Eight five
858.
eight. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
that's
Eight five
amazing.
eight. Yeah.
So I heard you talking about support and support. I was like,
Yep.
okay, we're going to come to that. Like, so do you support people, like coach them, put them through on how to apply for those visa type and how to get started?
Yes. Exactly.
So that's your specialties, right?
I've had, helping a lot of people, from so many years ago. I've just been very passionate about, helping people, connecting talents to opportunities, right? That's been my passion. And that was actually what bettered Scholarling. And that's, our focus, really helping people with talent migration. If you've got what it takes, the skills, then we can guide you through the whole process, the rigorous process involved in the application.
That's amazing. So what I've gotten from this is that with this Australia visa, the Global Talent visa, you become a permanent resident. And what duration does it take to apply for this visa? Is it something that you will need to wait for a whole year before you get a decision made on your application, or does it take few months, or in how many days does this visa decision takes?
Yeah. So, like many other Australian visas, it's quite fast in terms of getting a response. So at the
Yes.
first stage, you express your interest, and that could take a few months. That could also take on how you've put together your application, right? But there is a waiting list. Or they do it in sequence. But when as at the time I was applying, they had a prioritization system where your application can get prioritized and you get a decision. Like I got a decision within a few weeks in my own case. If you have a good application, that's the most important thing. Your application is very strong and more likely to be accepted. And that's why we come in. That's why we come in to help to strengthen your case.
So talking about the documents, what documents are needed for this application? I know, yes, you are like the bamba of them all, you're the immigration coach, relocation coach, and everything, but just to put it out here, what document is needed, like ranging from passport to what is needed for this application?
So the application is in two stages, right? The first stage is like an endorsement. That's the expression of interest. And that's actually where a lot of the documentation comes in. So again, there are specific things they are requesting for about your profile. They want you to demonstrate that you have recognition, international recognition and achievements. So how that is structured is where we come in to help. Every other part is just the final the actual visa application, which really it's a walkover. Yeah. So but that's then when you begin to talk about police character certificates and
Yes.
functional English, of course your expression of interest, acceptance, you then have dependents, that's where they come in. So one a key, very very key and fundamental part of this application is your nominator. You would need a nominator who is a permanent resident of Australia, or a citizen of
Now they
Australia or
get
New
a
Zealand.
nominator because, for instance, someone that is just looking to migrate to Australia, she doesn't have a brother or a sister or anyone in Australia. So actually going to get like a nominator living in Australia.
Yeah, that's the word is a global village. So in my case as well, I didn't have a brother or a sister or family member, but I was able to get a nominator. So if you're understand the power of networking.
Mm,
This application is all about your network. That you don't need a job. It's one of those visas where you don't need a job to migrate, unlike some other visas where you need to have a job with the organization to be able to migrate. Yeah, so you don't need a job, but yeah, it's just that nominator that you need. So which can be an individual, an organization. So there are bodies that can nominate you as well. If you don't have a person that could nominate you.
wow, that is so amazing. So, where Marilyn comes in now is that she is going to coach you on how to apply for this visa. She's going to hold your hands and put you through step by step on how to go about the processing of this visa. So, guys, I will be leaving the link on how to contact Marilyn in the description box. It's so simple to contact her. And if you are having issue with regards of where is the description box, I see some of you leaving comments, Clara, which is the description box and the rest of it. You can reach me on Instagram. Just put in like a keyword, Marilyn, and immediately I will be eager to open that message, knowing fully what you're asking about this relocation coach here. So, about this visa type, you could already tell, guys, that this particular pathway to Australia is straightforward. One thing that actually excites me about this is that you become a permanent resident just like that. So when the work comes in is you applying for this visa type. So this is where she comes in to do it for you, to put you through, because she already is into this process. She's a permanent resident in Australia. She has coached a lot of people and brought them to Australia using this particular pathway. Now, she's not a licensed immigration officer, but she's a coach. That is, she will put you through. I know genuinely a lot of people need help when it comes to applying for their visa type. So this is where she stands. Guys, go and check her out. The link to check her out will be in the description box. And I know for a fact that today's video has been very informative. So please give this video a very big fat like to show your support. And as you do so, may God bless you. Thank you so much, Marilyn. Thank you for this knowledge you just imparted in every one of us. Like, I myself, I didn't even know about this pathway to Australia. I'm into this relocation stuff and research, but I didn't know about this. The reason why I said I must bring you here, when I saw your platform and all the good work you've done, I said I must bring you here to talk about this to my audience. So thank you so much for joining us, and thank you. See you guys next time. Bye bye.